Here we are in Minneapolis, Minnesota, doing the filming locations for Fargo, released in 1996. This is one of the opening shots. During this shot, the two hitmen, Carl and Gaear, were driving to Minneapolis, and this was the skyline they saw. I thought it'd be a lot easier just to find a good location on a bridge to take this photo and video. A lot easier than driving and trying to film this shot. But yeah, this is the skyline you see in the movie. It's a little smoky or foggy or whatever at the very tips of the buildings, so it's kind of hard to make out. But this is a shot right here. Got a reference photo as well. And there's my reference photo when they were driving into Minneapolis. And there it is. I was really wanting to get more of a snowy atmosphere like in the movie. It was filmed in January, but we only got a little bit of snow up here right now, so I guess this is gonna be the best for December. But yeah, this is gonna be one of the shots. Only got about 5 locations I got, so at least the ones that are still there, because a lot of locations for this movie are no longer there. But there are still a few locations left, and I'm gonna try and visit all of them if I can today. So yeah, off to the next location. Okay, here we are at the next location where Carl met up with Wade at the drop spot here at this parking garage. And to save some money, I parked somewhere else for free, and I'm gonna walk up to the top to get this shot. But yeah, you'll also see this point of view in the movie as well, as when Jerry was driving up here, and you see all this. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun little walk, but a lot easier this way. So, until we get to the top. And here we are, top of the roof. Apparently there was an elevator I could have took, but oh well. It was a nice little walk, 7 floors. But anyways, yeah, this is the drop spot. This small little parking lot is where the drop scene took place. Try to line up some of these shots. But yeah, you can see those buildings in the background. Okay, this reference photo right here, when Carl was parked over there, then there's Wade pulling up right there. Wade would have been pulling up right over there. And that is where Carl was parked. Yeah, right there, right over there. So he would have been parked roughly right over here, just before that pole right there. But this is actually pretty small. Just do a quick shot, a little pan shot of the entire area, so you can get an idea of how small this actually is. But yeah, this is the scene where the drop took place. That went horribly bad for Wade. Yeah, you can see those buildings in the background. And there's a shot right there of Carl getting out of the car. And it had to have been this parking spot right there. You can't see because of snow and everything, but yeah. He is parked right up here. One of those two spots right there. Then that shot right there when Wade's pulling in. He would have been pulling in right there. Let's meet up with Carl over there. And just another shot of Carl. Then Wade's point of view. See that building back there? Then there had been Wade's shot right there. Building right there. Then the shooting scene right there. Yeah, that happened right about where I'm standing, or right here. Then this final shot that I got when he was shooting him. Yeah, right here. And yeah, this will be the second location where all that took place. This is probably my favorite location when that scene went down. Or the airport scene when he stole the license plate and gave the ticket guy a hard time for that parking fee. But okay, I think I spent enough time here. But yeah, this was the drop spot, my second location. And yeah, pretty cool. Let's go to the next location. Also, if you're curious, this is the parking garage right here. Different point of view, but yeah, very top. Just in case if you're curious what the ground level looked like. And there's that over there. But okay, off to the next location. I thought that was pretty cool though. Let's go. Okay, here is the next location. A lot has changed here, but this is where the restaurant is, where Jerry and Wade and the other guy met up to discuss the ransom drop. It's no longer a restaurant. A lot is different here, but you're still able to line up some shots for this location. Even the street sign that stretched over the highway is no longer there. But that building over there lines up, and another shot lines up as well. I'm gonna try and do. Okay, there we go. Okay, there's Jerry and the other two guys right here in the restaurant. You can see across the street that building right there with that line going across right over there. This is where they would have been sitting when the restaurant was once here. You would have seen that building right there. And the next area, there was a sign that stretched over the highway right there. I got another photo for that as a reference. And there they are walking out of the restaurant. Would have been somewhere in this vicinity right here. Then this shot right here, when Jerry was talking, that sign would have stretched over the highway right around here. I'm gonna say roughly right around this area is where the sign would have stretched over the highway. This being the sidewalk over here is where they were standing. So yeah, the sign would have went across the highway right about there. And there's that building. And yeah, this was the location. Then the next shot for reference would have been on the opposite side. Then this would have been my other reference photo. See the two trees right there, the road coming down, and you can see the two houses in the distance over there. There are the two trees right there, and there are the two houses right there. You can see road coming down right there. So yeah, this was the restaurant scene. Although a lot has changed, like I said, you can still tell this is where that scene took place. So yeah, that is the other location. But yeah, now off to the next location. And here we are at the next location, the Blue OX Motel. A lot has changed here, and this is what it looks like now. The Blue OX Motel. Roughly right about here is where that shot took place. Yeah, and this is where Carl and Gaear took the hookers. Right here at the Blue OX Motel. Although it's no longer the Blue OX Motel, but it's still a standing location. And there's where the ox was, right there. But if you're curious how this all looked, do a quick pan around here so you can get a better idea of how it all looks today. And a lot of semis over here. This is a nice location, and it's only about a half hour away from the cities.
I know it'd be in the movie, okay?
But yeah, that was a quick pan of this surrounding area over here. Get a few more shots over in this area. Another angled shot over here. And here's a shot on the opposite side, just like the other side, but this isn't where the ox was. The ox was on the opposite side, but they do look similar. And here's a shot from the back side. But yeah, this is the Blue OX Motel, or at least it was. And I believe the motel would have been upstairs, right over here. I think that's where it would have took place. So if it was, I gotta touch this door. Touch a memory. And here's an angle shot looking down from where it all took place. So the Blue OX would have been hanging right here, but it's no longer there. So that was pretty cool. And here's one last shot. It was a little noisy earlier when I was over here, but yeah, this shot right here at a low angle. Bam. The Blue OX Motel. Okay, that's enough footage for this location. Now we go to the next location, which will be the last. Because there's only one other location with the older dude shoveling the sidewalk when he talks to the sheriff. That was only a few minutes long, but it's like 5 hours away from here. I don't really want to drive 5 hours to that location. And that's about it that's still standing. The actual wood chipper used is actually in Fargo, but probably won't get to that today. So the last location for me, and that'll be it. So let's go to the next one. Just wanted to get one last exterior shot from the front. But yeah, it's a restaurant. That's what the front looks like. Okay, now that's all. And here we are at the final location, the Hitching Post Motel, where Jerry was apprehended towards the end of the movie. This is the location. This would have been the photo right here. Well, the scene in the movie. It would have been done by a drone, obviously. And you can see the police officers right up there. Just before Jerry met his fate. Jerry met his fate. Yeah, you can see him right there. Bam. Yeah. That took place right here. And it would have been way up there by a drone shot. The room was number 7. And yeah, took place out here on this busy highway. Quick shot in the background, what's going on here. Looks like nothing but woods and a railroad track. But yeah, just in case if you're wondering, this is the scenery in this location. Not much, just the highway. But yeah, that scene all took place here, and I believe interior and exterior was used for this movie at this location. So yeah, number 7 was the room. Let's get a closer look. Here's another angle shot so you can actually see the sign for the movie. Although you can't really see it there that well. Yeah, straight over there was the room. Okay, judging by this photo, the one car at the very front and the far left side would have been Jerry's, and the cop car would have been parked right where I'm kneeling. And this would have been the view shot. And his room was number 7, so it would have been over there. You don't really get a good angle seeing them actually walk up to the door. You just see the actual door shot of them coming in, which I see no point in changing numbers. So in all reality, his car would have been parked over here and his room would have been over there. So this would have been raining. This would have been where Jerry's room was. And that would have been room 7. And there's my last reference photo. Room 7, cops come in to bust Jerry. Right here. Room 7. So, yeah, I'm just gonna touch the door. I had to touch it. Okay, but yeah, that was the room. This is the room. It all took place right here. Room 7. That was it right there. Room 7. Just a quick pan of the area if you're curious about this motel complex. This place does have bad reviews, so I probably wouldn't recommend staying here. But if you're curious, this is what the hotel atmosphere looks like. And there is somebody in that room. If they do come out here, I am rather curious to ask if I could see what it looks like on the inside, but I doubt that'll happen. So yeah, this is the motel scene. And one final shot over here, and this is where I'm gonna end the video. That was the filming locations for the movie Fargo. It was really fun visiting all these locations, and yeah, I just wish there was more snow. It's like 35 degrees right now, but there's still some snow. Try to set the theme for the movie. But I hope you all liked it. It was pretty fun. And yeah, that's gonna be all. There, I want to end the shot right here. Get that motel sign in the picture. Get a nice photo. There we go. Okay. Yep, that's all. That's gonna do it for today.